We are in day 95 of Bitcoin moving sideways in this range. But there's a reason I came here to do a Sunday show. And it's not because Bitcoin's moving sideways. The reason is because if you look at the altcoins, you'll see that there are a whole lot of very, very, very big green altcoins. Now, they're not running coincidentally. That's the problem. They're running because of a reason. And I need to get that reason to you and I'll show you what we're doing because of it. And if you don't understand what that reason is, all you need to look at is here. The SEC is now rushing the ETH ETF. They're rushing the issuers of the ETH ETFs to get onto the market. And as a result of that, there are certain ecosystems that are running. So today, I'm going to show you, well, it said 7, but probably 8 or 9 altcoins that you need to be buying very quickly because of this ETH ETF. Don't get caught by surprise because Bitcoin is moving sideways. Don't get caught by surprise and think that there's nothing happening. There are life-changing gains to be made, and I think these life-changing gains are going to be carrying on for the rest of this week specifically, and we need to get in really, really early. That's why I came to you guys on a Sunday. So today we're going to talk about 8, 9, or 10 altcoins that I'm going to be buying because of the ETH ETF, and I'm going to be buying them probably even today on the show. So with that in mind, let's get going, guys. Sunday morning shows. You need to know if there's a Sunday morning show, you need to know there's a very urgent reason for a Sunday morning show. I don't come out lightly on a Sunday morning to bring you guys crypto love and crypto wisdom. So listen, if you are here, first of all, what I want to say to you guys is a very, very, very big thank you. And the reason why I want to say a very big thank you to you, we are now over 800,000 subscribers. We're 803,000 subscribers on YouTube because of you guys. Honestly, the most powerful, the best community in the entire world. If you're not already part of the community, smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, join the 803,000 people. Yesterday, that was on 800,000 people. That just gives me, it just shows me we are the fastest growing community in the world. Also, this is not the only show I'm going to bring to you guys today. There's another show coming to you guys today. The other show is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I want to show you the other show. It's a meme coin show. And on that meme coin show, we are giving away what looks like right now 104,000, I can't even say it. We're giving away $104,000 at least in the meme coin show, which happens later today on this channel. What I've asked on my Twitter that if you know any really vibrant communities, if you're part of any really vibrant meme coin communities, all you need to do is tell them that tonight we're doing a show, and on that show we're going to highlight the most active community. So all they need to do is go to my Twitter. There is a Solana address. Go to the Solana address, deposit tokens into that address, and then you could be featured on tonight's meme coin show. Every single cent here, every single cent of the what is now $104,000 is going to be given to the community. And right now, the most powerful communities are Trump Mania, BitTard, and the LFG community, and then coming up behind them is Shiba Biba. They are coming up fast behind them. But let's see, there's still 8 hours to go. Regardless, tonight I think it's going to be a magic show. Who's going to give away $100,000 to the community tonight? So make sure you're here. You've got 8 hours to prepare to make your arrangements. We're going to be here. We're going to be giving you crypto love and crypto wisdom. But now, the important thing is to give you the alpha, to show you why we have these tokens moving when Bitcoin is moving sideways. That is why we're here today. I'm going to show you exactly what the alpha is. I'm also going to show you at least 8 or 9 altcoins that you need to be buying. So let's not delay any further. Let's get into it. Let's get into the story of today, which is, of course, the movement of ETH BTC. So we did have the ETH ETF, which was approved, and that caused a candle move up, a godlike candle in the ETH BTC chart. But that candle was quite short-lived and probably a little bit disappointing. And I'll show you in a second why it was a little bit disappointing, but don't be fooled by this candle because there's still a massive run that's going to happen in ETH at the moment. And now what we're seeing is the SEC pushing the issuers of the ETH ETF to hurry up. They're basically saying, look, guys, we need to list, get your S1s. Your S1 is another form that needs to be filed by the issuers before they can actually start trading. Now, there is speculation that we could actually see ETH ETF trading by the 4th of July. And I've actually heard that that is maybe a bit conservative and that we may actually get ETH ETF trading by even before that. Now, before we get into the ETH ETF, we should probably look at the differences or the concerns that I have around the ETH ETF. Remember, the reason why we didn't get this absolute godlike candle, like the reason why this didn't even go back into the pattern, is because unlike the Bitcoin ETF, there are a couple of issues with the ETH ETF that we need to discuss. I want to discuss the issues first before I get into the positive side. And there's a lot of positive that needs to come. But I always want to give you a balanced view. I always want to show you both sides of it. I don't want you guys to drink the Kool-Aid and then to potentially get wrecked. So the concerns that we have regarding the ETH ETF. Remember when the Bitcoin ETF was approved? And you can see probably a good picture over here. So BlackRock filed for the Bitcoin ETF. Then the price had 209 days and the preparation had 209 days and the price went up 86% until the ETF actually got approved. So that's basically what happened with the Bitcoin ETF. We were all expecting it. They were going through the SEC processes and we had 209 days to prepare ads, to get excited, to get Wall Street excited about Bitcoin as an asset class and about the ETF. The issue is that when the ETH ETF was approved, it caught the market by surprise. Everyone wrote off ETH and said, look, there's not going to be an ETH ETF. It's going to be delayed. The markets, the prediction markets had the probabilities at I think it was under 15% at one point that the ETH ETF was going to get approved. And so what we had is we never had time for this. We never had this period, this 209 days. Now, what you'll remember is that as soon as the Bitcoin ETF was approved, we had a slight dump. And then in the next 144 days, we've had a 47% price increase as this ETF has actually been performing. And you can see that, right now, we have $13.7 billion that has been raised from outside money. This is the important part. From outside money, we've got $14 billion that has come into the crypto market from Wall Street and other investors, which has now come into and is now what you could say trapped in the crypto markets. With the ETH ETF, it is slightly different. Remember, with the ETH ETF, we haven't had that anticipation. At the same time, if you remember one thing, when the Bitcoin ETF was approved, the one issue that we had was this Grayscale GBTC trust, which had like $27 or $28 billion worth of Bitcoin in it. And every day we battled the outflows from Grayscale versus the inflows that came from Bitwise, iBit, and all the other ETFs. And it's kind of been this push and pull. We get minus 300 from Grayscale, we get plus 400, so we get positive movement. In this case, there's a big problem here. There is about $11 billion worth of ETH sitting in a very similar trust. And because we haven't had the amount of time to get this anticipation, because they caught us by surprise, there is a risk that in the beginning, a lot of those will be dumped on the market and we won't have the fresh new buyers to actually buy up all of these things. Okay, so this is why I think we got a candle, but we never actually got an absolute God candle. And I think Suzu's, he says it right. He says, look, I don't think people are mad at Ansem or celebrities. They're mainly mad that ETH didn't break past 4K despite the approval and that Sol is firm again. I was momentarily mad about this, but I've recognized that it is very, very, very bullish for ETH and of course, very bullish for Sol. So I think people are quite mad that ETH didn't pump, but I think the reason is because we have been caught by surprise here. And the reason is that the issue with being caught by surprise is we are going to get this, or we could get this Grayscale overhang. So that is why we haven't had the godlike pump. But despite that, I still think that this ETH ETF is one of the most bullish things that has ever happened to crypto. When I say that, I mean, could be as bullish, maybe even more bullish than the Bitcoin ETF, specifically for us. And I want to explain to you why I think that. I think it's one of the most bullish things that could happen for anyone watching this show at the moment. And the reason for that is because I know that you guys are in crypto for altcoins. You guys aren't in crypto for Bitcoin. The life-changing returns and the life-changing returns on Bitcoin have already been made. The real money is actually going to be made in altcoins. And this is why I think that regardless of what happens with the ETH ETF launch in the beginning, you've got to see the big picture here. And what's the big picture? The big picture is that Bitcoin was really, really, really good for Bitcoin. It's almost like the market separated Bitcoin and crypto. And they said that, like Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's a digital store of value. It's everything like that. Someone says, yeah, they love the Sunday shows. If you love the Sunday shows, smash the like button. So we've only got 545 likes. Let's get things going in here. Let's get people coming in here. And let's go. So as I was saying, the Bitcoin ETF was good for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is actually its own asset class. People really separate Bitcoin from the rest of crypto. It's almost seen like Bitcoin is Bitcoin and crypto is crypto. And when the ETH ETF was approved, it was an endorsement for Bitcoin, but not exactly an endorsement for crypto. In fact, a lot of people thought that the ETH ETF would never get approved because the SEC thought that ETH was a security. And therefore, people thought that it's going to be Bitcoin and all the rest were going to be unregistered securities. And as unregistered securities, essentially, we'll probably be caught in this place where we'd never get ETFs approved, we'd never get outside money approved, etc., etc. But when the ETH ETF was approved, even the biggest Bitcoin maxis were forced to change their tune. And they did change their tune. In fact, the biggest Bitcoin maxi, Michael Saylor, who always said that there would never be a second best, there would never be an ETH ETF, all the rest are going to be unregistered securities. He is the ultimate of changing the tune.
And so here's what I think. I think 2 weeks before, the world looked like Bitcoin was going to be the only asset securitized and offered as a spot ETF by the Wall Street establishment, and it was going to spread as the one legitimate crypto asset. I think right now, the best expectation is the crypto asset class will be legitimized, supported by both parties. There's an industry. Crypto is an asset class. There's an entire range of use cases, 24/7 digital trading, digital art, NFTs, tokens, decentralized this, functionality, DeFi. There's a lot of things that will be considered.
This is the important part.
And a more open light. And Bitcoin will be the leader of the crypto asset class. And if you look at it and say, well, is this good for Bitcoin or not?
He said the leader of the crypto asset class. Now, this was a guy who said there was no crypto asset class. It was just a Bitcoin asset class. And even he's coming out now and he's saying the leader of the crypto asset class.
It's good for Bitcoin. I think, in fact, it may be better for Bitcoin because I think that we are politically much more powerful, supported by the entire crypto industry. Right, they obviously have a lot of political power, a lot of users, and they serve as another line of defense for Bitcoin. So, I think instead of someone saying, "Well, there's one crypto asset, maybe I'll allocate 1% of my money to it," I think mainstream investors might say, "Oh, there's a crypto asset class now, and maybe we'll allocate 5% or 10% of the crypto asset class, but Bitcoin will be 60% or 70% of that." So I actually think it could accelerate institutional adoption.
We're back to indexing.
It's good for marketing.
So what you're seeing is that he's done an about turn and he said, look, now it's crypto asset class, and he started speaking about a whole lot of different narratives. And for us, when we hear different narratives, what we hear is actually we hear different altcoins, because for us, every narrative is a chain and a narrative, and each narrative has their own altcoins associated with that. And what you can see is that there are a whole lot of altcoins which are moving. And if you scroll out on the 1 month, just look at how many altcoins have really moved since we got that ETH ETF announcement. So what you can see is that this is a very, very, very net positive, not only for Bitcoin, but we know it's Bitcoin, not only for ETH, but actually for all the narratives that are around ETH. And you can see that there are a whole lot of narratives that are starting to run, a whole lot of meme coins are running, the real world asset narrative is starting to run. I think that's going to be a big narrative now. I think it's just a matter of time before Larry Fink goes back onto TV and starts talking about tokenizing the world.
ETF. As I said, these are just stepping stones towards tokenization. And I really do believe this is where we're going to be going. We have the technology to tokenize today. If you want to think about this. If you had a tokenized security and you have a tokenized identity, you, Andrew, the moment you buy or sell an instrument, it is known. It's on a general ledger that is all created together. You want to talk about issues around money laundering and all that.
Tokenize this, tokenize that, tokenize identity, tokenize securities, tokenize everything. Effectively, what he's doing is he's opening up the world to a whole lot of new narratives. We're going to have tokenized identity narratives. We're going to have real world asset narratives. We're going to have meme coin narratives. And you can see that right now, the market is starting to anticipate this. If you look at the tokens that have moved in the last month, real world assets, meme coins on ETH, meme coins, Uniswap, which is trading on the ETH network. You see? So that is essentially why I think that this ETH ETF is so bullish. The Bitcoin ETF was bullish, but it was only bullish for Bitcoin, and it could have divided the crypto community into unregistered securities and Bitcoin. Now, all of the altcoins have actually been legitimized. And so for us, the ETH ETF is actually the much bigger announcement. Maybe in the short term, there'll be a little bit of turbulence. Who knows? Who gives a shit? We are here for the long term. We're investing for the long term. And I'm going to show you exactly why else. The next reason why I think it's very bullish is because I think that Wall Street will find ETH much easier to understand than they find Bitcoin. And the reason why they'll find ETH much easier to understand than Bitcoin is because Bitcoin is a completely new concept. All it is, it's a protocol that really does nothing but stores value. It's a digital gold. And for a Wall Street investor to understand a digital gold, a protocol that does nothing but allows you to store digital gold on it, is very difficult to explain and very difficult to understand. With ETH, it's a little bit different. Wall Street really understand ETH. It's about a network. It's about building amazing apps and amazing dApps. It's a technology. And the more apps and the more dApps that are used, the more this technology will grow. For Wall Street, ETH is just the internet 3.0 or 2.0. That's what ETH is to Wall Street. And so they're going to find it very easy to understand. And so what we're going to start seeing soon is we're going to start seeing a whole wall of new money coming in. With Bitcoin, 13.7 billion of new money came into crypto, right? And at the same time, as the new money came into crypto, it drove up the prices of all the altcoins. And as it drove up the prices of Bitcoin and altcoins, more crypto money also started to flow in. So we went from $124 billion in stable coins in the market, all the way to now 160. We're at the cycle high of 160 billion of stable coins in the market. So now you're getting two inflows of money into crypto. One is money that's coming in from Wall Street, and we've had 14 billion of inflows coming into Wall Street. And then we've got 35 billion that's come in from Crypto Street into the crypto ecosystem. So what you can see is that now with the ETFs, more money is going to be coming in. Now you're opening the new ETF, more money is going to be coming into the new ETF. And also I think that Wall Street will also start appreciating that ETH is actually deflationary when it's really, when it's used. So I think net, as I say, I think the ETH ETF is extremely bullish. It's bullish for altcoins. It's bullish for ETH. It's bullish for legitimizing the asset class. It's bullish because Wall Street really understand this type of technology, which they don't really understand Bitcoin. It's going to bring in new money, and that new money is going to be used to pump specifically altcoins. Because remember, for Bitcoin to succeed, all you need is Bitcoin to be successful. For ETH to succeed, you need the ecosystem around ETH to succeed. And the ecosystem around ETH is effectively a bunch of altcoins. And so without the altcoins actually succeeding, ETH can never succeed. Now, the buyers of the altcoins know this. And so for them, they're going to be very bullish, and they're going to start investing and spending and driving usage of the altcoins because they know that that is what is successful for ETH to go back. So what I think here is, I think that the reality is that because we were caught by surprise, I think that a lot of people were actually caught very underweight ETH. I think that a lot of people aren't ready for this ETH trade. And so I think that not only will ETH actually pump when people actually when people understand or get a feel for how fast the grayscale outflows versus the inflows are coming up, and that's going to happen, but that's going to be a short-term thing. I think the more bullish thing is that if you think that people were caught underweight ETH, just imagine how underweight they were caught on the altcoins around ETH. And right now, what's happening is you're getting the catch-up trade on ETH, and you're starting to see the beginning of the catch-up trade on the altcoins that are happening around ETH. And you can see a very, very, very good example of that is how Brett is up 30%. Brett is the biggest meme coin on Base, and it's on a market cap today of 1.18 billion. We've been telling you to buy that since about 200 million. So for those people who got into it, congratulations. For those who haven't, we will show you a whole list of new tokens that you should be buying today. I'm going to show you exactly why you should be buying them. But what you can see is that the altcoins specifically are starting to play catch up to the main coins. So if you look at in the 1 month, you can see the altcoins are mainly green. And the reason why the altcoins are mainly green is because they're playing catch up on the ETH trade. A lot of people have been caught underweight on the ETH trade. So that is what's going to happen. And I think that right now you still have probably your last opportunity. You have your last opportunity to get ready for what is going to be the next part of the crypto run. And I think for one, we're going to get back into the original crypto cycles where we go Bitcoin, and now the money is going to start flowing into ETH. And then the money is going to start flowing into large cap altcoins. And then we're going to get this full blown alt season. Right now, the money is starting to flow into ETH, which means that you need to start positioning yourself here in the large cap and then potentially maybe some of the smaller cap altcoins. Up until now, we had a cycle where because we thought there was going to be no ETH ETF, we went Bitcoin Solana, Bitcoin Near, Bitcoin AI coins. Now I think we're going to go back into the normal cycle where we're going to go Bitcoin. We're starting to get money flowing into ETH, even though that may be a little bit subdued because of the grayscale thing. Then we're going to go into the large cap altcoins, and then we're going to go into the small cap altcoins. And this is really what today is about. Today is about preparing you for the next part of the crypto bull market, showing you exactly what to be buying. Now, you'll know that we did actually publish a ETH ETF buy list. So we kind of have got you guys a little bit prepared. But I think today we're going to show you, we're going to go one step deeper. One of the things that you'll notice about this buy list is that there's a whole lot of ETH layer 2s on this buy list. Arbitrum, Optimism. I think if you looked at the wave 2, there were a couple of other ones that were there. Hold on, let me just get our screen back. A couple of other ones that were there. Today is about digging a bit deeper because we know for sure that the ETH layer 2s are going to run as part of this ETH narrative. To me, that's like the easiest alpha play on ETH or beta play on ETH is just go into the ETH layer 2s. Remember I said two things to you guys, which I think you guys need to keep in mind. The first thing is it's going to go Bitcoin, ETH, large cap alts first. Remember also I said that this ETH ETF trade was going to be broken up into 3 waves. The big ones first, then the medium ones, and then the real fucking degen ones, right? So as part of the first wave, I think the easiest trade that you can trade, probably the highest risk to reward a trade that you can actually trade, is actually to trade the layer 2s. And when it comes to layer 2s, of course, the main layer 2s are Arbitrum, Optimism, and then of course Base. Now, if you want to beat the market, you've got to get into a trade that the market believes is maybe slightly too difficult to get into, or maybe slightly more complicated to get into, right? Now, if you look at the layer 2s, obviously the easiest ones to get into are Arbitrum and Optimism, because everyone knows how to get into Arbitrum and Optimism. All you do is you buy Arbitrum and you buy Optimism. They're both listed tokens on the market. You can buy them immediately. And so those tokens, let's quickly look at them, but if you look at Arbitrum and Optimism, so ARB, USDT, let's quickly just jump. Okay, let's just go to ARB-USD. You can see that they had a big candle up. And if you look at Optimism, which are the two, these are, by the way, the 2 biggest layer 2s. Okay, you can see that it's had a run up and it's actually started to retrace. The obvious ones, the obvious ones are to buy Arbitrum and Optimism. But for me, the more interesting one, the much more interesting one is actually number 3 here. And it's Base. Now, I mean, we all know what Base is, but for those of you who don't know what Base is an ETH layer 2, okay? It was created and incubated by Coinbase, and it was built using the Optimism stack of technology. So essentially, just imagine that they went to Optimism and they said, look, we love your technology. We want to take your technology. We want to create a fork or a mirror image of it, and we want to call it Base. And we want to have slightly more control on this Base protocol. We want to have slightly more control on this Base protocol. And so that is what Coinbase actually did. As I say, you can see how they say, we have no plans to issue a new network token for Base. So the problem is that you got Base, but Base doesn't have a token. And so that's why I say that this is where maybe the real alpha play is, because everyone thinks, oh man, you can't invest in Base. I'm going to show you today how we can invest in Base and how we can actually beat the system. And I think that Base, for me, is the most interesting of the ETH layer 2s. The reason why I say it's the most interesting of the ETH layer 2s is because that is Coinbase's number of verified users. As per their last results, they've got 121 million verified users. I mean, get that, 121 million verified users. Probably the only ecosystem with more users than Base is Telegram. The difference between Base and Telegram's user base is that Coinbase users are all KYC'd, and they all specifically crypto users, whereas Telegram's users may just be there for the dApp. So for me, by far the most exciting ecosystem on ETH is Base. But as I said, there's no token on Base. The metrics for Base are absolutely insane. I mean, if you look at the growth of their TVL, the growth of their TVL has been absolutely crazy. And if you look at every other metric on Base, growth of users, growth of Base, growth of TVL, growth of revenue, everything is growing and growing super exponentially. You can see that's the growth of the daily active users. That's the new users on Base, which is absolutely flying. Everything is aligning for Base to absolutely explode. And that's not all. So it's not only the fact that they've got 120 million users, that their bases have been growing exponentially. There are two more catalysts that I think are going to drive Base to run. One of them happens this week, in fact, in 3 days, and the next one happens about a month later. And I want to show you the two new catalysts for the Base ecosystem. The first catalyst for the Base ecosystem is what they call the Coinbase Smart Wallet. Now, what is this Coinbase Smart Wallet? You'll appreciate that Coinbase's main objective is to get mainstream adoption into crypto. And one of the biggest problems with getting mainstream adoption into crypto, I'm sure you'll agree with me, is this thing called private keys, seed phrases. I mean, you can't expect your mom or kids or anybody that wants to use crypto to remember these words. And if you forget the words, you lose your money forever. It's just a ludicrous concept. And the people that were willing to get into the market when this ludicrous concept existed, they are the ones that are going to make life-changing money. But now we're going into the next phase, and the next phase is mainstream adoption. And one of the biggest things for mainstream adoption is Coinbase's Smart Wallet. Now, what is Coinbase's Smart Wallet? So this guy says, just tested the Coinbase Smart Wallet for the first time. It's an absolute game changer. Went from no wallet, no extension, to minting an NFT in 20 seconds, all while signing securely with Touch ID. This is how we're going to bring mass adoption to crypto. Jesse Pollack, who is the creator of Base, he used to work at Coinbase, he says, no seed phrases, no separate apps, no complexity. Get your app now accessible to everyone. And so effectively, we've got this smart wallet which is being launched. What are the smart wallet benefits? Quick and simple to integrate, easy to access Coinbase bases, easy onboarding, no private keys, no seed phrases, nothing like it, okay? Now, this is a tool for mass adoption. I don't believe these numbers. I think these numbers are a little bit optimistic, but I just want to show you like what mass adoption looks like. You're talking about 8 billion world population, 5.35 use internet, 30% get on chain. Users get 3 smart wallets, 4.8 billion smart wallets. Now, I think this is, hopium, but it does show you that if we can get mass adoption, if we can get rid of these private keys and seed phrases, then we've got something amazing that's actually happening here. So it's gasless. There's no extensions. Just update your Coinbase Wallet SDK, and it basically works. Now, the next catalyst that we're going to have is what they're calling the on-chain summer. Now, in on-chain summer, we're going to get this Basecamp 001, Basecamp 01. Now, what is Basecamp? Basecamp is the first time that we unite and get to know the builders in the Base ecosystem. It's like the Solana conference or the SUI conference, and that is happening on July 31st and August 1st. So you got two catalysts. One catalyst on the 5th of June this week, the Coinbase Smart Wallet launches. Then you've got the Base Summer, which is happening on the 31st of August, the 31st of July, and the 1st of August. And then we're going to start meeting all the builders, seeing all the protocols. The VCs are going to come out and start spending money on the Base protocol. It's not only going to be Coinbase that's spending money out of there. We're going to see them building art, building memes, building games. It's going to be a what they call a Base Summer. And if you think that the pump that we got before the SUI pump was a big pump, which was the one over here, which went up 50%, well, let me tell you that I think that the Base the base one is going to be much, much, much bigger. So net, as I say, I'm super bullish on Base. The only problem is Base doesn't have a token. So what do you do? How do you invest in Base? How do you get exposure to Base when there's no token on Base? How do you do it? How do you actually do it? Well, I think the first thing is you need to invest in the Base ecosystem, right? If you can't invest in Base, what you need to do, you need to invest in the Base ecosystem. And generally, I say if you want to invest in the Base ecosystem, the easiest way to do it is to bet on the biggest DEX and to bet on the biggest meme coin. And then that's almost like we always said, like you want to invest in a protocol, invest in the base layer, invest in the DEX, and invest in the meme coin. But I think today we're going to go a lot deeper, because today I have a massive spreadsheet for you guys over here, which shows you basically all the Base beta plays that I want to be talking about today. We'll get into that in a second. So I want to show you all that. Now, for those of you who are in our Discord, I just want to quickly just get you guys there quickly. Just want to quickly just show you this. Crypto banter. Just get. So I know that a lot of you guys here are in the Discord. For those people who are in the Discord, you have already got the spreadsheets, because we published the spreadsheets in the Discord a lot earlier. If you want to join the Discord, today is the last day that you can actually join the waiting list for the Discord. Click on that link over there and join Frontrunners. Try it out for a month. If you're unhappy in a month, you can leave, but do it, because I promise you that it'll be the best investment that you ever make. Hold on, my researchers are sending me some alpha here. Hold on, they're sending me lots of alpha here. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, here we go. Hats off to the Banter research team. Yeah, that's everyone's saying hats off to the Banter research team. These guys are beasts. We do have the best research team in the world. There's no doubt about that. Especially the guys that actually put this show together. These guys are solid. Anyway, guys, if you want to join Frontrunners, today is the last day for you guys to join Frontrunners or to join the waiting list. Try it for a month. If you're not happy with it, then just leave. Then just leave. But it is probably the best place to get alpha and to get alpha before it happens. Anyway, so let's go back to it. If you want to invest in Base, you could invest in 𝗟𝗏𝗦 and Brett, the two meme coins. The problem is that they're both on a $1 billion market cap. And I don't know how much more upside there'll be, maybe 2x and 3x. Truth is, I'm not here for 2x and 3x. I'm here because I want 100x and 50x. That's why I got into crypto. The other way to get into Base is to start investing into Base protocols. And there's a whole lot of different Base protocols, but I want to take you through it step by step. So I'm going to go through a whole lot of Base protocols. But before we get in there, the first thing that you need to do is you need to learn how to get money onto Base. Because if you don't know how to get money onto Base, you can't buy the Base altcoins. That's the problem. So a lot of people say, well, you know what, I want to get involved in Base. I want to buy all these meme coins, but I don't know how to get myself onto Base. I don't know how to get money onto Base. That's the first barrier to entry that we've got here. Now, I'm going to show you the easiest way for you guys to actually get money onto Base. It's really, 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 really simple. What you need to do, and I'm just going to get a wallet open here. You go to your normal MetaMask wallet, and I've created a demo account. Go to your normal MetaMask wallet, and all you need to do is you need to go click here and change the network to the Base mainnet. And when you do that, so let me just show you that as an example. Now I'm on the Base mainnet, and you can see that in the same wallet that I've got on my MetaMask, I've got no money in the Base network. You see, I've got zero money in the Base network. But if you go to the Ethereum mainnet, you see I've got $1,000 worth of ETH in that wallet. Now, what I'm showing you here is that it's so simple to get money into the Base network that all you need to do is you need to just change your wallet onto the Base network. Okay, but problem is, how do you get money from your ETH wallet or your Solana wallet into your Base wallet? The easiest way to do that is actually by using the app called 𝗕𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗔. Now, there is a link here. Let's quickly find it for the guys who don't know where it is. 𝗕𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢. Okay, I will put a link. Just ask Amy to just put a 𝗕𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 link for the guys over here. If we could do that quickly, I'll put a link for you guys onto 𝗕𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢. Use the 𝗕𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 link to do it. Guys, are you asking Amy to put the link for us? Or you guys can just do it. Let's put the 𝗕𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 link in here. It'll be here in a second. Use the 𝗕𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 link. And then what will happen is you will get a situation where you are faced with a dashboard that looks something like this. Now, how do you bridge money from ETH onto Base? Well, you can see right now, I've got about $1,000 of ETH on the ETH chain. You see, it's on the ETH chain, right? So what I need to do is I now need to bridge that money onto the Base chain. So what I need to do, the first thing I do is I go to my wallet and I grab the address. Okay, so I'm going to just copy the address. So this is a demo wallet that I've created. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's move 0.2 ETH from the ETH chain, where the money actually is, to the Base chain. And when I receive it in the Base chain, I want to receive it in ETH on the Base chain. And now it says to me, okay, where do you want to send it to? Okay, it says where do you want to send it to? Cool. I'm going to confirm the trade. Okay, so I'm going to confirm the trade over here. And you'll see that within, okay, I'm just going to approve the trade. You guys can't see it. It's on my second screen. I've just approved the trade. You see, just let's get rid of the comments. The guys can see the thing. Okay, guys, let's just get rid of the comment. Okay, so let's get rid of it. Okay, so it's gone through and order's been created. And you'll see that within 5 seconds, I will actually have money on the Base network. Okay, order fulfilled. Now, all I do is I go back. Let's just wait for it to just update. Okay, now remember, it is going through the ETH network, so it's taking a little bit of time. But when I go back to my wallet over here, you'll see that my balance on my ETH network has been reduced, and my balance on the Base network, I've now got money on the Base network. So literally, it took 10 seconds to bridge money from ETH onto Base. Now, you could do the same thing. You could go from Solana, if you've got money on Solana, connect your Solana wallet, and then bridge from your Solana wallet to Base. But this is the easiest way to do it. Guys, have we got the link in the thing?
Going in now.
Okay, in a second, I'm going to show you where that link is. Use that link, because if you use that link, you start getting points for the 𝗕𝗥𝗢𝗢 airdrop. And 𝗕𝗥𝗢𝗢, as you can see, is an amazing protocol, which is going to give you guys an amazing airdrop, and you guys are going to get a gummy airdrop. So step 1, you have to bridge money from ETH onto Base, or from Sol onto Base. You got to get money into your Base wallet, okay? Once you've done that, then you can actually start buying the amazing protocols on Base. And I want to show you some of the amazing protocols on Base. So some of the amazing protocols that I want to look at on Base, I want to look at the following. So if you want to get exposure to Base, these are the protocols that I would be using to get the exposure onto Base. The first one, and probably the most obvious one, is to get Coinbase. Now, I know it's not like a crypto token, but the reality is that for me, Coinbase is really the best bet in crypto at the moment. Why? Number one, because I think that Coinbase is going to win against the SEC. When they do, they win the prize of the entire North American market. The second thing is that Coinbase, if you look at their revenue from the use of Base, they're making 33 million from their use of Base. And even though it's a very small part of it, they're using Base as a platform to hedge themselves against centralization and against the risks of the SEC. So for me right now, the biggest, best bet in crypto today is to actually be buying Coinbase, regardless of whether, regardless of the Base play. I would be looking at buying Coinbase. Now, I've been telling you to buy Coinbase since about $40. It's at about $225. I still think that at a market cap of 55 billion, it's a great play, not only for Base, but for everything else. So that first one that I would do is I would buy Coinbase. I think that's the obvious one. The second bet that I'd be doing is I'd be buying Optimism. Now, you may say, but Optimism is not on Base. It's an Optimism, right? And of course, you can use 𝗕𝗥𝗢𝗢 to bridge funds onto Optimism. Now, why would I be buying Optimism? Because remember that because Coinbase used the Optimism tech stack, they pay Optimism, they will share 15% of gross profit generated, or 2.5% of the total revenue from transaction sequencing, whichever one is greater, with the Optimism collective. So the Optimism guys benefit. Also, if you understand what Optimism is what they call a technology stack. And any chain that is built with Optimism will be able to interact with any other chain that is built with Optimism. So together, we get this super chain network. So if Base does well, chances are Optimism will do well, right? And so not only because they're getting the money from Base, but because there's more chains in the super chain network which all connect because they all use the same technology. So for me, the top 2 bets, which are maybe not the 100x bets, but probably the best bets, are Coinbase and Optimism. Guys, can I have my live viewers back at some point? Also, have we got the link in there?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. So let's just, guys, for those of you who want to use the money from Base, but for those guys who want to use the 𝗕𝗔𝗬𝗕𝗦 link, use that link, because then we get points and you get points for the airdrop. Over here, use that link. That's the one that you should be using, and you can bridge money from any chain to any chain. Guys, can you get my live viewers? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that is the first 2 bets: Coinbase and Optimism. Those are the first 2 bets that we're going to be looking at. The next one is pretty much a basic one. I always say that, you know, if you want to invest in a protocol, you need to invest in the DEX and you need to invest in the meme coin, right? The biggest DEX on Optimism is a DEX called 𝗟𝗔𝗬𝗓. Here are some of the usage statistics. You can see 𝗟𝗔𝗬𝗓 is now the #1 DEX on Base by every single metric. So this is one of the big ones. It's growing pretty much exponentially on every single metric. Now, the only problem that I have with 𝗟𝗔𝗬𝗓, and it's not a problem, is that 𝗟𝗔𝗬𝗓 has a market cap right now of over $1 billion. So I think there is upside. There's probably a 1x or 2x upside here, but I don't think you're going to make 100x investing in 𝗟𝗔𝗬𝗓. That said, for me, it is a very good investment because, I mean, look at the biggest DEX on ETH. The biggest DEX on ETH has a market cap of, I think, $10 billion, or the fully diluted valuation of $9 billion. So for me, I think 𝗟𝗔𝗬𝗓, I mean, you probably have to have a little bit of it in your portfolio. The other one is one that comes from left field, and that is Velodrome. Now, what is Velodrome? Velodrome is it's the technology or the same DEX as 𝗟𝗔𝗬𝗓, but for Optimism. And because I think that Optimism is going to explode because of Base, I also think that Velodrome is going to explode. Now, the difference between Velodrome and 𝗟𝗔𝗬𝗓 is that if you look at Velodrome have a very small market cap relative to 𝗟𝗔𝗬𝗓. I think it's got like a $232 million market cap, right? So for me, I'm adding both of these as the play because I think that if Base works, the whole Optimism superchain network works. And if that works, the biggest custodian that's going to happen is going to be Velodrome. Then I've got 3 other bets for you guys. Okay, so the first one is a lending protocol, or the biggest lending protocol on Base. It's called Moonwell. Let me see if I've got some more information for you guys against Moonwell. Here it is. They said the lowest fees. I want to show you the price performance of Moonwell, specifically in the last year. It's now trading at $147 million fully diluted valuation. As the researchers are saying, biggest native lending protocol. It's similar to Aave on ETH. Now, if you look at Aave's fully diluted valuation on ETH, I think it's like a couple of billion. It's at almost 2 billion, 1.6 billion. And if you look at Moonwell, let me just try to find Moonwell again for us. So hold on, let's quickly just find it here. Okay, so if you look at Moonwell, you see the fully diluted valuation is $146 million. So for me, the lending protocol is one that I'd be looking at. Then the next one is BetBase. And the reason why I like BetBase is because we're all here because of casinos. Crypto is one big casino. I think betting protocols always work. If I look at the equivalent, which is Rollbit, you see Rollbit's got a 205 million fully diluted. BetBase has got a 17 million fully diluted valuation. If you look at, here it is, that's BetBase. It's a liquidity market and betting protocol that you can actually be looking at. On-chain prediction market on Base, people love gambling. That's what the guys are saying. Recently, Polymarket raised 70 million in a round led by Polychain, showing there is demand for the betting platforms. BetBase is only at a $17 million fully diluted valuation. The other one is, again, it's an ETH protocol, but it's providing the liquidity for the perpetuals trading on Base, and that's Synthetix. So Synthetix, the token symbol is SNX. It's an ETH old protocol. It's an ETH protocol. It's got a fully diluted valuation of about $1 billion, but that is one that I would be looking at. Now, look, we gave you these picks as our best picks out of all the picks. Now, all of those are going to be in the spreadsheet for you guys. We just omitted some. Like there is a a protocol called 𝗕𝗥𝗢𝗡, which is saying that they're going to migrate onto from Optimism onto Base. So for now, we haven't added it as one of our best buys. And the same thing with Extra Finance. So have a look at both these spreadsheets because they give you all the protocols that we will actually be able to do. All right, then we go on to the meme coins. Now, with the meme coins, you need to know that you're getting into real degen territory. You need to know that the meme coins are very, 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 very risky, and that meme coins, even though right now, today, they represent alpha on the chain, the reality is that they're just memes. And that if you're getting into that, you're expecting to get very, very high return, and you're doing it with a very small part of your profits. Now, what are the main meme coins on Base? The first one is Brett. Brett, we've been telling you to buy Brett since about a $200 million market cap. Today, Brett has a market cap of about $1 billion. You can see that Brett is by far the biggest mover of the day. It's got a market cap of fully diluted of $1.17 billion. You can get all this information on Banter Bubbles. I still think it's probably a good bet. I just don't know if I'd be rushing into it right now. Probably look at something smaller. I mean, one of the interesting ones that is smaller is this one called 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗡. So let me just see if I can get you some information on 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗡. I know I had something here for you guys. Here we go. That's 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗡. It's based on this meme, which has 10.4 million followers on TikTok. That's 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗡. The total market cap on 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗡 is $7 million. Another one which is actually not a meme coin, it's a technology standard, is this thing called 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗡. 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗡 is a mix between this ERC-404 token standard, which basically means that if you collect a whole lot of tokens, it creates a collection for you. And so they have a collection called, let's see if I can find it for you. Here it is. Let me just quickly connect it for you guys. So you can see it's called fungi. It's the ERC-20I standard, which is the equivalent of the ERC-404, similar to ERC-404. Essentially, you take your tokens, and when you combine a whole lot of tokens together, it actually creates a fungi, okay? Well, or creates something, and in this case, they've gone with this thing called fungi. And it's got quite a bit of traction at the moment. So this collection has got quite a bit of traction at the moment. I think the market cap is $4 million. It's very small. The next one is Frank. So Frank is Farmer Frank. Now, what's Farmer Frank? They take a tax on every transaction, and they use the tax to snipe or farm meme coins on Base and share that with the stakers. So this is Frank over here. It's, again, not really, it's a meme coin, but it's a meme coin that has some technology, and their technology is actually staking or farming meme coins. So that's a very interesting meme coin for me. Also quite a low market cap, tiny market cap. Okay, then we've got Based USA, which is, I think this is the meme coin that appeals to the Republicans, to the freedom on-chain people. So that's called Based USA. You can see that's over here. It's becoming the main politicized slogan, freedom on-chain. It appeals to Trump supporters. It also has a plan for the up-and-coming election. Team is doing amazing real-life marketing. It's at an $8 million valuation. And then two other long shots that I would take, 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 and 𝗥𝗑𝗥. Let's see if I can find you something about those guys over here. So that's the 𝗥𝗑𝗥𝗢𝗡 meme, and then you've got here it is. I mean, it's the Pepe, the DJ and Pepe, and then you've got 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏, which is the other meme coin. I would pretty much look at this chain. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys both. I'm going to give you guys all the picks and all the research around all the picks, and then the ones that we think are maybe slightly better. And in these columns, there's a reason why they're actually better. Okay, so the reason why they're actually better. So look, I think that's the alpha that I've got for you guys today. I wanted to bring it all to you guys today. I'm going to remind you that we are back here later. I see the 𝗕𝗏𝗔𝗟𝗘 link is now updated. So if you want to go and bridge to 𝗕𝗏𝗔𝗟𝗘, do that. Also, remember, we are here later and we're doing the giveaway show, right? We're doing the giveaway show. Let me quickly just show you how much money is in the giveaway show. If you are part of any communities and those communities are active, if you're part of Telegrams, tell the guys to, wow, look at this. We're going to be giving away $110,000 on our later show today. Still, the leader is Trump Mania. Then you got Bitard, and then you got Shiba Biba. So Shiba Biba has actually overtaken the LFG community. Holy shit. This is getting exciting. But the most exciting thing is that we are going to give away $110,000 on the show today. Also, remember two other things that I want to remind you. So we had a guy who came onto the show yesterday. I don't know if you guys watched the show yesterday, but we had a guy who came onto the show yesterday, and he lost a lot of money trading leverage. And I said to him, look, if you want to trade leverage, what you've got to do is you've got to join Kyle's Whale School. Now, the problem with Kyle's Whale School, you'll see there's a link over here. If you click that link, what you realize is that actually it's closed. Okay. Oh, 3 days left to go. So I've secured you guys 1,000 spaces for any people that want to join us in this Whale School, but you have to sign up in 3 days. So please use this link. Come and join myself and Kyle. We'll be doing an amazing school for you guys together. It's free. You don't have to pay 1 cent, and you get like one of the best trading schools in the world. Really, really, really is one of the best trading schools in the world. I'll show you one clip from, I wonder if I've got a clip for you guys from the trading school. I don't know if I have. Anyway, join us. It is, I mean, it's one of the best trading schools. Carl is one of the best traders out there, and he's doing a school. For those who've done it, they'll tell you how amazing it actually is. Also, if you haven't entered the BitGet competition, there is a BitGet trading competition which has a $5 million, I wish it was $5 billion. We have created a team in that competition. Now you need to sign up to BitGet, and there's 135 members of our team. I want to get this to 1,000, and I want to go there and I want to win. I want to win the competition. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to go and sign up to BitGet and sign up this team. Now listen, guys, the spreadsheet is going to be linked below. All the alpha is in the spreadsheet. I've showed you guys the thesis and why I think it's such a good play. Now I'm leaving it up to you to go and do what you need to do. I will see you guys again later. When we're back later, we're going to give away this $135,000. See you guys later. Until then, trade well, my friends.